Okay, so this is I think this is part 3 of the container talk, and today we're going to change the 20-foot container which we made in the first two talks, and we're going to change it into 40-foot. There'll be a picture of it after it's printed, and then there's one together. So the first thing what I do is open up Fusion, and now this folder, this file here is the one that we finished off with. So what I'll do is going to save a copy of this, then we'll work off that copy, and then if it goes really bad, we've got something to go back on to. Okay, so we got a fresh copy, I think up there you can see it's the name of it. Right, we're mostly going to work along this history timeline along here. Okay, there's ways to bring this cursor backwards and forwards. You can do it with the mouse, or you can use the controls down this side here. So you can see it jumping back. If you press this left-hand one, it goes right back to the beginning. And this one takes it right to the front, end. That one's quite handy there if you do make changes and you're halfway through the program, like somewhere here, say, you can then just press that and it will take you straight to the end, like so. So it's quite handy, that one. So we'll take it right back to the beginning. Okay, and we'll start on, we'll edit that in a minute. So the first thing we need to do is look at sizes. So on the sorry. I thought this was all going to be nicer. Right, so I've been on the internet and pick up the sizes here, and it's these external sizes here that we're interested in. And the main one, because the width and the height are the same on the 20-foot to the 40-foot, really the only one we're going to be really interested is that one there. Okay, so it's 12,192. Okay, so we go back to Fusion. We right click it and we're going to edit the sketch. All right, so there's the first sketch that we drew. Okay, if we double click on this one here, you'll see that there's a formula in there that we put in there to work out the size in N-gauge. So if we use the back key, change that to 12,192, and then press enter, you now see that that has jumped to the 40-foot container, right? And then we finish the sketch. Excuse me, it just there. Okay, it's gone down there now. Right, put that out of the way. So then the next thing we're going to do is just move this slide over once, and now we're checking that that has extruded to the size that we want. So we look at it like that, and that's perfect. So the next 4 on here are all our canvases. So you'll see as I pull it over, you'll see canvases drop in, heading, and then underneath all these will appear. But as this is for the full 20-foot, this canvas here is not going to be any good to us. All right, so we'll just hide them away because we don't need them. And again, what we're going to be doing is, say, working our way along here. So the next 3 items are the planes, construction planes, and they've jumped in here. If we turn them on, and what I'm doing here is just checking that they're in. These are all mid planes, because I've written mid afterwards. So I'm looking and making sure that they're all in the middle. So that looks good. Then the next one we pull over with a curtain. Sorry. I'll right click it, move it over once more. So we'll turn those construction planes off, because they'll get in the way. And this is the shell we did, and we just check underneath, and that's taken out the shell to the 40 foot. All right. Right, okay, so the next parts, like I just said now there, is we're just going to do a lot of just checking as we pull this cursor over. We're going to be just checking that stuff is going in the right place, and on the whole it will go in the right place. And then when we do get bits that have got to be changed, then we'll make the changes as we go along. So again, to move this cursor, I didn't actually say this, but I like to right click it, and you can just say roll your history marker here, and that will jump over. Okay, and on this bit here was drawing in these 4 lugs in the corners. Okay, so they've dropped. What we're checking is that this lug is gone, these lugs on this end, sorry, the lugs have gone on the end and not in the middle. Okay, so the next one, when we pull it over, we'll put the little hole in this top square here. Okay, so we saw a little hole just go in there, and this one is the mirror, and that will drop it to the bottom here. Okay, and that's done that. And the next one over, we'll put them in the 2 ends here. All right, and then if we spin the model round, the next mirror just brings these over to this side here. All right, and there they drop in. Okay, on this next few parts up to about there, this is all putting details on the end of here. And again, we're just checking that the squares have gone in place. The hole is gone in the top right, which it has, and then across to the left top, that's it, and then pop them on the bottom. All right, and then we spin the model round. When we move this mirror, bring the cursor over to here, the lugs will jump into here, like so. Okay, and now we're going to work on the top, and we'll move this over again, and we've seen the lugs have gone in the 4 corners. And because we didn't want the holes to go in the bottom, the next mirror will mirror those squares on the bottom there, and there you can see them there. All right, but the top needs some holes in it, so this one is for the hole in that corner there. The next one over will bring the hole in that corner, and then we'll mirror those 2 over to this side. Okay. And then I believe we took a chunk out the top. If I just scroll down there, move that back, you can see that we just took a little bit out of the top to get it to line up properly. So everything at the moment looks quite good. And we move this over again. And this time we're starting to cut the side out on here. So if I move that back one, so you can see we're putting this cut out here. And that's appeared. Next one, we'll pop the 2 cutouts on the end. And let's say they've just jumped in there nicely. And then there's a bit on the bottom that we did. And anybody, if you can't remember these parts, it will be in that first video that we did. And the next one will mirror all those parts over to this side, like so. Okay, right. Now, when I do the next one, this is where we're going to make a change. So I'll bring this over, and as we can see, we've got the cutout at the end. or close to the end. And that end there. When we look on the, we're going to go on the internet now to look for a picture. There's a certain picture I do actually want because it's got an error on it, which I want to show you. So what we're doing, we want to look for an image that has got the little lugs because they sit in the middle. And this one here, let's go down, somewhere down. Right. So if we have a look at this picture here, we can see that it's the two lugs are sitting in this position here. So what I would do is go into here, take a screenshot of this, like so. Okay. And we go to, and there she sits there. Now I'll rename this because I just find that when they're in fusion named like that, you don't know what they are. So I just put, if I put side lugs in. Okay. Right, so we're going back into fusion, all right? What we're going to do is we're going to import that picture onto this drawing. So we go insert canvas, we go onto the computer desktops, and we're looking for that last picture we just did. There we are. I'm going to open it up. All right. So if I turn the body off, you'll see me doing it. So it's asking which plane do you want to put it on? So we're going to put it on the side plane. And if we scroll, now it's come up with an error there, and that's because I've not got the canvases turned on. So if I turn that on, that will, the error will go. But we notice that the numbers are the wrong way round. So we just give it a flip and they're the right way. Okay. Right. So we're going to calibrate this now so it will fit with our drawing. So we go right click, calibrate, go down the bottom here, just get that in there, and go to that side, and we go 12192 divide by 148. Okay. So if we turn the body back on, we need that drawing to line up with this. So we just right click it, edit the canvas. Okay. And if we grab that square there, we can move it any way we like. And that's lined up sideways. And this is why when I put this in, I thought, oh, look, this drawing's not right because it's short at the top. But because all we're worried about are these two lugs here where they line up, we're not too worried about the height. But if you were to draw your container from this drawing, then you couldn't use this because something's not right with it, because we've calibrated it and it should match the whole of that body, but it doesn't. Okay, we just go okay. All right. So now we now know we've got to move those lugs roughly in that position there. Okay. And actually I've made a mistake here, I think. Yeah, I have. So I want that, it should be here. So what I'm going to do is just drag that back to there. Now, if I'd left it where it was, then when I want to edit that canvas, I couldn't see it because it would be after the event. So you always want to put it before. So if I can go right click, edit the sketch. Okay, I'm going to turn the bodies off for the time being. Scroll into here. If I just delete that measurement there, you can see it's come unconstrained, and double click it. I can pull it over and get it to line up with that other one. And actually that canvas wanted to come down a bit. So what I'll do, go okay. So that looks about right. And if I click outside there and then just dimension that, come down and go 32. And that's reconstrained the sketch. All right. And now if you ever want to reline your drawing up again, come out the sketch, right click it, edit it. And because we want that to go down just slightly, we can just do it like that. All right. Right. So we finished our sketch, and which was there. We turn the canvas off, about to see. Bring it over, and you can see now that when we do the mirror as well, the other one will come on. And we turn our canvas on, and they're lined up with the other one. Right, so the next few lines is just again just checking everything is right. So we just move the cursor over. I believe it's on the end. Yeah. So we just again just right click, roll the history over, and you can see that that bit was cut out. This bit was added on the end, and then there, if we just saw underneath here, a lug's gone in at the bottom, and what we would do with that is just make sure that that's gone right through to the end, which it has, and then we've got our mirror, which will be the other side. Again, that should go through, which it has. Okay. Then we just keep moving it over again. This time we're working on the top. So it's cut out a square, and it's going to cut out a little square by the lug there. And again, we'll be mirroring these across. So you saw it jump there, and then we'll have two this side. We'll move across again. And this time we're starting to add the ribs. All right. So you remember this was our first rib. This is to add the little curves on the end. So that little curve there, here. This will mirror it across to the other side. Okay. Then here we will pattern these across. As you can see, they only come halfway. And the reason they come halfway is because of the numbers we've told them and the distance. All right. So this will need a change. So we screw up, we start pulling this across to the top, sorry, to the right. And then this is where you'll sit around and juggle around exactly what numbers you want, etc., etc. So the numbers I've been juggling around is 70.05, and we had 31. We now need 66 ribs to go across. So we tap that in and we can see they've all come across. All right. So it looks roughly what you had before. So people say, oh, well, it's double the size. It should be double the ribs. But remember, we haven't got 2 of those bits that would have been in the middle. So that's why you've got more ribs. So it would have been 62 plus an extra 4 because of the gaps that you've got here to fill. All right. Then we move it across to the combined. If we look at our bodies, half of them haven't been combined because these are new extra bodies that we just made in the last rectangular pattern. All right. So we need to adjust this combined. And these can be quite awkward. Sometimes they're play ball and sometimes they don't play ball. And it's just a case of adding them to the we'll take that out. Sorry. Okay. So what I did there was I hit the cross there to clear everything like that. All right. Go up to the third. Remember this, the container is your target body. And you select the one below, scroll down to the bottom. And if you press your shift key, then click the bottom one, it selects everything in between. And you go, okay. All right. And then that's joined everything to that container. So all those ribs we just made just then have been joined all up together. All right. But they can be, I find they can be awkward. Sometimes you perhaps be better off just deleting it and starting fresh again. All right. Perhaps it's me, it's not Fusion, but I just find that sometimes it plays ball and it does, sometimes it doesn't. So now we're starting to add the side rib. And again, we go over to the rectangular pattern. And again, it's only gone halfway. We need it right over there. So we go to edit it. And we start pulling it over. Okay. And again, these numbers that I'm typing in, you can type what, numbers that you feel are right. Okay. It's just playing around, getting them right. And we always, like last time, we had an extra one to go roughly where that one is there. So it's 66 plus 1. So we put 67. And that's filled it up quite nicely. Okay. And there we have another extra loads and loads of bodies being added. All right. We pull it over again. And this one here, we'll just make a very small adjustment to this one. So it's minus, sorry, I'm just looking at my list here, 1.225. But again, you put whatever figures you want in there. All right. And that's added another body to this list here. Should be down the bottom here somewhere. There it is, number 65. All right. So we look at the next mirror. And it's going to pop all those ribs on copy on this side as well. All right. Which it hasn't done because the mirror was only set up for this set here. So what we need to do is go into here. Go edit. Let's see if we can add these to it. Sometimes it say that you can use the shift key and sometimes you can't. So it's a bit of a pain. And you just want the 200 ones, all right? The high numbers, because they're all the new ones that you just made in the last rectangular pattern that you did, because we added another load to it. We go, okay. Let's miss that last one. Why has it done that? Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a new mirror. Okay, come down mirror, select the first one, make sure that's on bodies because that's what we're dealing with. Go right down the bottom and go okay. No, I'll select the plane. So we use our construction ones on that one, and there they are, all jumped along and go okay. All right. What I'm going to do, because I put a new mirror in, I'm going to delete this one, and it will come up the warning, this warning here, because it's going to affect something else along this timeline. All right, so I'm going to delete that, and I expect an error to come on this combined, which it has. So always remember, if you see orange, yellow, sorry, and reds down here, there's a problem with it. Right, click it, edit it. So let's have a we'll go down here. Right, I'll take that one out. Again, click the top one. Hopefully it'll work. Go right down to the bottom. Press your shift. Select them all. And then combine. All right. Just give this a quick save. Right. Okay, right. So we turn these over. So the next part we're going to do, there's two little lugs that go in this on the side here. So when I go like this, roll the history over, if I turn the container off, we can just see it there. Can we see it there? And then when we turn the container on, we can see that that should be at the end. Well, it would have been at the end if we had a 20-foot container, but because we've added this length, it sits there. All right. So what I want to do, and if I go over to, so I want to move that over to here, to this side. I know it's quite hard to see. So if I turn the body off, okay. No, actually, no, I'm not going to turn that on first. I forgot to do something. So I'm going to put it on the 5th hole slot here. Okay. So what I do is go into here, and I'm going to redefine the sketch plane. All right, click that, and it's going to ask you where you want it. So you want it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and select that and go OK. All right. I'm going to turn the container off. I'm going to edit the sketch. Now you can see that's where we want to be, and that's where we are. All right. Now this is constrained to this square rectangle here. So if I double click it and delete it, it's now unconstrained. If I click this and click that corner there, go over to here, zoom into here, and click this outside here, the square's now jumped over to that plane that I wanted it on. Then I can click that bottom one to that side, and that's constrained in the side. And then if I dimension the top of that to the top of the square, that's fully constrained again. All right. And that's how I would move something across. And then we finish the sketch. And there's our part here. Now the other people say, oh, you could delete the sketch and start again. But what you'll find is you'll get errors now. You get errors because parts are missing. But when I move this history line, They're all going to steer, they're all going to build on top of this square that we moved, or rectangle, like these. Okay. I'll perhaps not explained that very well. And there we are. There it is sitting in the 5th slot. Okay, so now we go to our we're going to edit the rectangular pattern. All right, we're going to, because somewhere in there it's buried in, there it is, it's buried. Can you just see it there? Oh, there she is there. But we need her right up here. So we turn that on. We're going to edit it. And we know it's got to come up a fair way. So I just pull it up to start with. And then what I'm going to do is zoom in once I get it in the rough idea where it's going to go. So it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So pull it back, and that should be minus 69.275. Okay, and that's dropped into that slot there. Okay, I'll go okay. All right. And then if I turn the containers off, you can see one's at one end, one's at the other end. It's quite hard to see them actually. All right. So we turn the container on, and now we need them mirrored across the other side. So we go across here. I'll zoom into the 5th one. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And we saw it just drop in there. All right. And then we've got all our bodies up here. The nexes are combined. So when we roll the history to that, we should see them all join up into one, which I have done. I perhaps haven't explained that very well, really, but okay. So there's our model so far, and that is the end of talk 1. So basically everything in most of talk 2, we can jump, because all it is adding detail to the door end, which is there. So as we gently pull it over, we'll see bits adding onto the door. Yeah. There's the bits turning up. And again, what we would be looking for is anything that goes yellow. All right, because that means problems that we need to deal with. And there's the door thing coming on. Okay. Right. So the last few parts here is putting little partitions in the in the shell. And the reason I do this is because I found when I print, the actual container bends itself. So it's not that. Beg your pardon. 2. So what I'm talking about here is these partitions here. And what I found that happens is the sides just bow out, and these just stop them bowing out. But what I do is I drop them down just slightly, because then that will stop them. If there is anything in its way, it won't rock on your wagon. Just like that. You can just see they've been just dropped down slightly. But again, this is up to you whether you do people to add this or not. So at the moment, all we've got on here is 2. So I need to add another 5 We'll add another 3. Right, this is how I would do it. Okay, so I go into edit. I'm going to turn the body off so you can see what to do. So the first thing I'll do is draw five rectangles. Okay, I want them all, the widths, to be equal. So this is what I'm doing now. I'm constraining them with the equal constraint. Okay, like that. So the advantage with that is if you just add one measurement and they all jump into line. Okay. Now I'm going to put some construction lines in here. Make sure they're all horizontal. That one in the middle here. This is where perhaps your patterning could work. But the advantage of doing it this way is, you ever make any changes to the length of your container, this will always be equal. Like so, one more in there. Okay, again, just get the equal constraint. So, using the midpoint constraint here, and I'm going to put it on that edge there. I'm going to put that one on the edge there and base it all the way along. So, and then the last one here. Okay, I'm going to delete this square out, just rectangle out like this. Get your midpoint one again, pop that on there like so, that one on there, and then they're always constrained. They're all equal, equal gaps, equal things. And all you do is just, if you wanted to change any, the width of it, you just change that one there. If you, let's say if you wanted 1 mil, we want 2. Okay. So turn the bodies back on. When I pull this over, it's only going to show me 1. If I go edit, and all I do, take that one out so it don't get confused. Okay. Because I don't need that mirror anymore, I'm going to take that out. All right. And there's all your partitions in there. And then that is it. So that is your 40-foot container.